All right, good morning. Welcome in. Out of Bounds, ESPN 1059 The Zone. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Wild weekend. I was in Starkville for game one and game two. Yesterday was nuts. I watched it on TV. Mississippi State comes away, takes 2 of 3 from the Georgia Bulldogs, and a hell of a series win for Lamonis and just our next guest, Justin Parker and Gotro and the team. And they're trending in the right direction. But some wild stuff over the weekend. And then, of course, we got the John Calipari news that we've been hitting throughout the morning. Our guests join us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. And the show is driven by your next Ford Expedition or Ford Explorer. Mack Ike Ford, I-55 North in Jackson. We welcome in Hail State pitching coach Justin Parker to the show. Coach, good morning. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing great, Bo. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Your guys are throwing well. I tell you what, Steven and Gerangelo, Friday and Saturday, they pitched some good ball for you.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. I think they feed off each other. And we're far from perfect as a staff, but the guys are getting better. They're growing, they're learning, they're working, and they're tough. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is just, this league is tough. You said it on the intro, just how heavy the weekend was, and you got to have the ability to get off the mat, and those guys are making big pitches and hanging in there.
They are. And Georgia's lineup, good grief, as far as at the plate, that may be the best hitting lineup in the league. Justin?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the deepest that we've seen. I mean, they have the ability to go 12 or 13 guys deep and, of course, play the matchups left, right-handed. They got some platoon guys at the bottom, and they've all played a lot of baseball. It seems like everybody we play this year, 1 through 9, you're dealing with 22-year-old men. And, I really had a lot of respect for them coming in. They lost a lot of new guys, a lot of transfers, which seems like a theme around the league. I think just coming off of even the A&M weekend, their 3 through 7 hole there was all portal transfers. So, very deep group lineup, very, very talented, very physical, very dangerous there with Georgia.
All right, tell me about, I got to tell you who my favorite guy is. This guy, Cam Schulke. This dude, I mean, what has he got? Like 44 arm slots he throws from? Yeah. I'm loving it. And he's a little tiger bulldog on the mound, too, and he's a young dude, but he's really been productive for you in Lamonis. Tell me about him.
Yeah, it's just his makeup, man. His character, his makeup, who he is, his belief in himself, his toughness. The uniqueness in the looks create issues. That's been, kind of his calling card. He's a national champ at the junior college level. He's a winner. He loves having the ball. He's also very resilient and takes the ball. He just because of the slots, he recovers better. And we've used him, of course, with the amount of appearances that he's had. He bounces back quick. So, it's a guy that kind of one of our heartbeat type guys on our pitching staff just because of who he is and what he does.
Justin Parker, Hail State pitching coach, has done an unbelievable job this year, and this unit, this group is pitching really well, production and so on. And 6-6 coming out of 12 games with 18 to go and trending in the right direction. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Okay, walk me through. I don't want you to get bogged down in what happened Saturday night, but you lose it because that's not what I want to do to you. But you lose the game, and so the players have to be like, damn, that was one that was there. And so you get up on Sunday, you're getting all your guys ready. You got Dome, and he's out there for a little time, and you have to pivot. Your whole thing. You're sitting here thinking, how are we going to do this game? What was your thinking as far as, you get down 5-0, Domes can't go? Where were you right about then in that second or third inning, Justin?
It's just next man up. I mean, we know every one of them. Whether you're playing Georgia at home or whoever on the road, every one of them's hard to get. Every SEC win is worth its weight in gold, and every one of them is going to be a battle. We know that. we knew it was going to be an all hands on deck day. Dome with his best start would have probably given us 2 or 3 innings. That was the game plan. So we knew that was going to be kind of the way that we approached yesterday. And it was going to have to be just guys go out there and make pitches. It was a very hitter friendly day with the wind blowing out, and most day games in the league are, and just was going to be about guys making pitches. I mean, it was kind of what we expected going in.
Okay. Auger, I thought he had a hell of a performance. He got through some adversity. He gets you to the end of the game to hand it off to Davis. Talk about how, what he did yesterday and how excited you were with his performance.
Yeah, he was incredible. And we've moved him in and out of different roles all year. He's had, the late game role at times. He's closed games at times. He's set up games at times. We haven't really stretched him out much like we did yesterday, and I thought he was incredible. He got his third pitch going. I thought that was a game changer. Got a changeup going. He's been mostly fastball slider, but just his poise, his command, ability to just attack the strike zone, get the leadoff hitter out, just manage innings. His experience showed, in just that he was able to navigate. A couple plays defensively here or there where, we probably would have liked to have him made, but he pitched through it. He didn't need it. He kept making pitches, and, his experience, I think, was one of the things when you look at, him able to do that and keep his poise, keep his focus, keep his intensity over the course of 3+ innings. I think he was tremendous.
Yeah. Brooks Auger with a heck of a game yesterday. So, you don't ever know, but, he's gone through a lot with injury. This could be a breakout appearance for him, right?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And like I said, we've juggled his roles and really kind of with the whole crew, especially after, you lose Dome, like we lost him for a month, and we'll see kind of what happens with him here, in the next couple of days and so on. I don't know yet, what's next for him. I don't think it was crazy bad, but we'll see. And just we've had to ask different things out of different guys at times, and we're still trying to find kind of that best rotation of guys that can do. When you call on them, what you're going to get, and the role that you're asking them to do suits their skill set. And we're still searching for that. I think every week we're getting closer to finding the right mix and putting the guys in the right spots. And this, of course, yesterday looked like, something for Brooks that he was very comfortable doing. And man, we needed it. We needed it at that moment. And he was, like I said, he was incredible.
So Auger was awesome, and then so was Tyler Davis. Was there any doubt you were going from Auger to Tyler Davis, or how did that play out?
Well, we just kind of knew, and I think if you look back at yesterday, they did it 2 or 3 times. When you have to go to the pin early, you're trying to manage pitch counts and rolls and getting length out of guys that maybe are a little bit outside of what you've asked them to do. I think they probably, looking back, they left in a guy or two too long, and he'd go out for that extra inning, and then it would, kind of he'd find out he had lost it, and then you'd go to the pin. And we were just, hypersensitive of paying attention to that with Auger being the pitch count a little higher than what he's been built up to do. So we knew Tyler Davis was going to be the next guy. We knew he's got experience coming in a dirty inning anyway. So if we had to go to a guy, Ligon was also back there, for a clean inning potentially. And for us, Tyler's just been so good. I mean, outside of the outing he had at Florida, which was kind of a blip on the radar for him this year. He had thrown 2 big innings on to close out a game that midweek at Sanford, and he had the rough outing on Friday night at Florida. Other than that, he's been great, and we just felt like the matchup, just his stuff matched up really well with their lineup, and bringing him in there and having him go. I didn't know we were going to get him to finish the game, but I thought at that time we needed to get Auger and Davis at least through the 8th, and he was terrific too.
He is Justin Parker, Hail State pitching coach on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. They take 2 of 3 from Georgia in what was a wild series, and he had some dudes step up over the weekend, and on Sunday, Auger and Davis were outstanding. Have you? Okay, I gotta go back to Cam Schulke for one more. All right, so are you still, just because you need some other guys to start to perform, he could be set up or he could be the closer? Just kind of how the game unfold dictates that, Justin?
Yeah, I just think with his versatility, with how tough he is, he's been the kind of the fireman. Whenever you need to put out a fire, and sometimes those games, like the save situation, ends up happening in the 6th or 7th inning where you need that hold in that specific time. You're at that spot in the lineup. Sometimes that happens in the 7th. Sometimes it happens in the 9th. And, for us, I don't look at any of them specifically like this is our closer. I think we're just matching up makeup and skill sets with certain spots and certain situations and trying to get each guy out there to be able to be put in a position to have success. And that's kind of the way I've viewed Cam is, he's so low maintenance with how quick he can get ready. He's so low maintenance in how he bounces back and how vibrant his arm ends up recovering. And so he's been put in a lot of different roles. Sometimes it's hard because of how good he is to hold him, to say, hey, we're going to hold him to a traditional, more conventional save opportunity. Just because we've seen him also be able to give us length. So,
right.
It's his versatility is his biggest strength.
Yeah, that dude's awesome. Justin Parker on the Out of Bounds show. Okay, so all right. How close do you think Bradley Lofton is to giving you some innings?
Yeah, I mean, it changes by the day. There are days where I'm like, man, this guy's one of the best left-handers in the SEC. And then there are some days where, just from a health standpoint and a mental standpoint, he's just not quite there yet. And we haven't been able to get him out as much as I wanted to on the midweek to get him prepared for that. And you really don't want to rush him too much. So I think he's close. The stuff's all there. There's no shortage of stuff. It's just about the experience and getting him going from a confidence standpoint.
Okay. And how do you feel about Pico right now?
Pico probably had his best week or week and a half of work that I've seen. So I'm really confident. I think he's close to really turning the corner and making a big impact for us. Those first couple outings are hard after Tommy John. You got the nerves going. You have all the expectation. You have maybe a little bit of anxiety and apprehension. And I thought he handled it pretty good. He's a mean kid out there on the mound. He's the nicest kid we have off the field, but he gets out there on the mound and he's mean. And I hope to be able to get him in the kind of the crew here soon. But we took last week off of him throwing midweek just because we had like such a heavy workload week and felt like we had some stuff that he really needed to iron out, on his side work. And I think he's really close. I like where he's headed.
Okay. All right, Justin Parker, Hail State pitching coach on the Out of Bounds show. Hell of a hire by Lamonis last summer. So, Johnny Long, he's another one of my favorites. I think my favorite are Cam Schulke, Mershawn, and Johnny Long. So, tell me, this guy is an absolute dirtbag. Love his mentality, his grit. I mean, Ross Highfield has tremendous talent. Everybody's hoping he comes back next year and has a big year. But what has Johnny Long brought to your pitching staff and the team the last couple of months, Justin?
Well, Johnny's a savage. I mean, just everything he does is team first. The play in that position, it's so taxing on you mentally to be able to flush at bats and move on. And Johnny's such a team first guy. He understands the responsibility of catching at a high level, catching a good pitching staff. He understands the mentality that he has to have to be there for those guys. He understands, his role in a team. And I think some of maybe one of Johnny Long's biggest strengths, and this is no disrespect to him, is just his self-awareness. He knows exactly who he is as a player, and he knows exactly who he's not. And he tries to be the best version of himself, where the at bats, the selflessness, the hit by pitches, the grinder mentality. I love everything about him. Like I said, he's a savage. Like, he's the guy that I enjoy going to war with every time out. So he's meant the world to us, just because for me specifically, like, I put such a premium on that position and the relationship with that position. I'm in his headset every game. I'm using him for feedback. And then of course, like, there's like he's he's part of the battery. And so the success that the pitching staff has. I mean, I think I can't remember who it was. I think maybe it was Durangelo a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was this past week. Coach Lamonis does the player of the game post game and after every win, and it was Durangelo, and Durangelo passed the shirt over to Johnny Long just because of how much respect.
Yeah.
So everyone respects him. He's our heartbeat, just as far as how he shows up, the toughness, the grit, the mentality, the experience, all of it, man. You're spot on. He's one of a kind.
Yeah, he's become a crowd favorite overnight. And I like what you said, he knows who he is and what he is. Like he's older, I guess, philosophical. I thought he had a great interview after the loss last week, explaining the approach on the midweek. And he kind of seems like he's mature beyond his years. We're visiting with Justin Parker on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. They got a midweek game against UAB, and then they go to Ole Miss. So, Justin, we had you on last year, and you talked about South Carolina had played in Starkville, and you were familiar with the atmosphere and the crowd. But now that you're wearing the maroon and white and the M over S, what has it been like to coach as a Mississippi State coach in the ballpark with the crowd?
Man, it's been special. It's been special. You're competing in the heat of the battle, and a lot of times you don't take it all in, and then all of a sudden it seems like the game's over and you come up for air. Or there will be times when we're on offense where just the chants start happening from side to side, and just the investment in the fans and the community, how intelligent of a baseball, how intelligent of a crowd and of a baseball community it is. It's such a great place, and I think everywhere in the SEC it's hard to play on the road, but I do feel like our fans are very hospitable too. It's even with with Slade Alford coming back this weekend, I thought there was a lot of respect. There was a little bit of jiving in there, but it's just been special, man. It's just a special place. It's an incredible fan base, just very intelligent fans, and then you got some of the best barbecue in this part of the country going on down here at the same time. So it's been awesome, man. I'm fascinated by it every time we go out. Even I think this past weekend, it was maybe Friday night, we come out for BP. We're stretching. You can smell guys getting their grills started. You can smell the charcoal billowing, and there was a time there where we had to stop playing catch pregame because there's too much smoke on the field. You guys couldn't see, so you just kind of laugh, and it's just awesome. It's been awesome.
That's great. All right, one more. Nolan Stevens, a dual threat. He can pitch, he can hit. Kind of talk about his upside and his talent on the mound.
Yeah, he's our wild card. I mean, we've shuffled his role at times where you'd be the first guy out of the pen, and next thing you know, he's pitching in the 8th and 9th inning versus LSU. We've saved him, used him late games. He came out and had more of a traditional setup role earlier this past weekend. He's kind of view him more as a weapon and a wild card, and he's an incredibly talented kid and physically. We think very highly of him offensively as well, but a lot of it is just his makeup, his mentality. He's got great stuff, but it's the competitor that for a young kid we feel very confident putting him in, and of course you've seen it so far. We've got no apprehension putting him in the biggest games and the biggest minutes and moments, and he's done, for the most part, especially for a freshman, he's done a pretty good job with that.
I know you're excited about coaching him. Justin Parker, Hail State pitching coach on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Coach, we appreciate your time today. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Bo. Hail State.
Justin Parker on the Out of Bounds Show, talking about the starters, the setup guys, maybe the closer, but I tell you what, he's done a hell of a job with this staff. And you got to be excited about what all you were able to see this weekend, and the way that this program is trending here over the last few weeks. They're 6-6 in their first 12. They have 18 games left and some winnable series. So we'll see. Even with Dome and Bradley Lofton and Pico Khan, because of injured and trying to come back, they're still figuring it out between Steven and Gerangelo and Auger yesterday. Damn. And then Davis. So super impressed with what's going on there. Man, that was a fun show today.
That was it was intense and went quick.
With the dust up on Saturday in Starkville, and then John Calipari leaving Kentucky to go to Arkansas, and then the Jans flirtations or whatever the hell was going, leverage, whatever. Just a very, I felt like it was an emotional roller coaster weekend for SEC fans.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
You're playing right? You're playing baseball. You got the portal open. And then you had this weird, bizarre, I still can't explain it, and I was there. 45-minute delay at a game. I don't even know.
Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. You said it. You weren't watching it, and then you saw the number on Twitter of how many people were getting ejected, and you thought, well, this must have just been an all-out brawl.
I was kind of pumped.
And then you watched it, and you're like, what? Ooh. It's a nothing burger.
Why?
A nothing burger. Somebody or multiple people sat there and watched it and rewind.
I watched it twice.
For 45 minutes, they did that.
Golly.
And decided that they needed to throw out double-digit guys.
I'm with you.
There wasn't a punch thrown.
No, not one. Not a chest bump.
There was a physical play at the plate, which is called baseball. I mean, how many guys get taken out at second base on a double, on a potential double play?
They do it on purpose, and it's a known thing.
You're
it's
damn
accepted.
right they do.
It's accepted. It's
I don't
fine.
care which way it's going, whether it's short to second or second to short. So
they do. The SEC does owe some money. They are the people who sat there for 45 minutes some money. They at least owe them a voucher for a beer. Or I'm sorry,
they owe me a voucher.
Well, I mean,
I had a beer,
a couple vouchers.
I was good.
Okay, good. All right.
I had a libation or two.
I had faith in that.
Yeah,
I had good faith in that.
Billy Donovan to Kentucky. Let's start the rumor.
He needs a libation for that.
Billy Donovan to Kentucky.
What's his price tag?
Right there in the 8 to 10.
So he'd be okay. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
That's
plenty
of money.
No, I got a couple of seconds. What's up?
I saw on Twitter that some Kentucky fans want Don Staley now from South Carolina. They want him to switch over and be dominate in the men's too.
There you go. The Out of Bounds Show, brought to you by the Armory in Ridgeland on Lake Harbor in front of Kroger for your next firearm. Premium firearm, suppressors, optics, powered by the Armory, Lake Harbor in Ridgeland. It's a beautiful building right in front of Kroger on Lake Harbor in Ridgeland. The Armory, Lake Harbor in Ridgeland. Show is also presented by Fleetway Market and the Blue Plates at the Market Cafe in Gluckstadt today. Check them out. Fleetway Market, Market Cafe in Gluckstadt, and their amazing blue plates, pulled pork sandwiches. They've got the grab and go too, and a great selection of beers like Stella Artois and Key City and Kona Big Wave and everything else. We'll see you tomorrow. If you missed anything, hell of a show. Apple Podcast or Spotify. Search Out of Bounds with Bo Bounds.